No, I have suffered great physical and emotional trauma at the hands of zombies. Very emotional stuff, you understand? So, no, I don't like zombies much. But, you are a zombie? Yes, yes I am. It's a very difficult struggle of, figuring out how I want to live my life, you understand? It's, difficult to talk about. Would you like to talk about it? Yes. Yes, I think I would like to talk about it. YouTube, it's your boy, the Memphis XLR8, welcoming back to Check This Out, the show where we take a look at whatever deck we want to take a look at and have ourselves a good old time with it. Today, everybody, we have a nice little deck suggestion donation here from our boy, the First Alchemist, who has made for us a zombie deck. Specifically, it's a Vendread variant, a 60-card Vendread variant. We're trying to do the Vendread thing, bring out a bunch of ritual monsters, start beating into our opponent. Now, we have a lot of little bells and whistles here and there, nothing super atypical of zombies. We're not playing like typical zombie stuff because that's been done way too often. We're playing the Vendreads with the Vendreads and a few other big zombies to boot. So we got ourselves this nice little deck. We're gonna be going Yugioh Pro, showing off what it can do, show off the wombos and the combos, the what do's and the what not do's. I think we'll have ourselves a good old time. Now, of course, if you want the whole deck list, it's gonna be at the end of the video as always. But for now, we're just going to go into it. We're going to summon out all of our Vendreads, a couple of our bigger zombie boys and things, and just have ourselves a good time about it. So, enough talking. Let's get right into the action. Alrighty, everybody, our first opponent, another day, another card game. With our deck, we can go first or second. It's one of those decks where we can do either or, but for now, let's just go ahead. I'm feeling second, honestly, with this first. I don't think a second will be just fine. Opening hand's an interesting affair, if anything else, so we'll see. Definitely would have been better. It's definitely better than going first with this hand. Let's put it that way. So we're gonna go into it. If I get one of my ritual monsters, would be amazing. What is this? Origami Goddess. I've seen this before. This is the thing that, let's see. Toss a coin till it reveals the tails. Draw a card for every 2 heads. Every time a coin tossing effect happens, then this guy gets doubled. So this is a coin toss deck. Very neat. And hey, I got to get some more cards. I appreciate that. I did need a couple more cards there. I appreciate you, sir. Alrighty. So opening hand's not too shabby. Sadly, I don't have any of my rituals at the moment, which is weird because we play a lot of those. But it's okay. We're just gonna summon out Banshee here. Get Banshee on the board. And we'll see where this goes. I mean, we don't know what this opponent's going to be doing just yet. But if I can beat over the Origami Princess, that'd probably be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. You got to double again. I assume. Did you actually toss? Oh, yeah, I guess you tossed and you got all tails. Very sad. I'm sorry to hear that. But let's go ahead and end our turn. We're going to ditch Ghost Sleeper here. We're just going to search us another card. One of our nice little techs we have in this deck is Ghost Fusion, which is a little tricky to use at times, but I can use it as long as my opponent has like more life points than I do. But right now, we're getting the deck set up. With 60 card decks, there's a lot of setup, a lot of prepare work. The longer the duel goes, the better it goes for us, because that's giving us more opportunities to get things we need. And let's see here. Let's see. If I go on for Scar of the Vendread, wouldn't be too shabby. But let's deck thin for now. For now, we're going to deck thin here. We got Ghost Wyvern searching as another Ghost Fusion. And we'll say one thing I'm surprised that did not get thrown in this deck is Necro World Draco Necro, the Dragon Fusion. The one that's a zombie dragon. I'm surprised that wasn't put in here, but yeah, it's not my deck to criticize. So I would have thrown that one copy in there, but that's okay. Because we can work with this. I got 2 monsters on the board. That's plenty of monsters on the board. You know, I just need to start beating over whatever this guy. You know, he probably has, yeah, Fairy Box, I know that. But this is probably going to be Dice Jar. I would put money on this being a Dice Jar. Alright, let's give it a shot. Gotta try and beat over it no matter what. Alright, so the bar, yeah, this guy is, he's got all the coin defense cards. That's funny. It's hilarious. Alright, so I'm off to 0 attack and I'm negated? Dang, man. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. That is rough. So Dark, we see this to be a Tails, and we need him to call it wrong. Okay. Got one of those two things. Alright. My opponent is just... He is turtling up. He's turtling up a bit, so we're just gonna have to... We're gonna have to wait another minute because we're not quite set up to do things yet, but we're getting there. We're gonna go ahead and ditch Scar here, because this is where we get started. Scar the Vendread's gonna activate. This is gonna search us out any of the Vendread spell traps. Let's go ahead and get Vendread charge. Very nice card. And we'll just keep ditching cards to the graveyard. I just, you know, zombies, the graveyard is their second home. You know, they are the ones that popularize the whole thing with, like, using the graveyard as a second deck. Zombies just keep coming back, man. Where are my Vendread rituals at? Where are those guys at? Okay. Let's actually get something done this turn. I'm just trying to decide how I want to do it. Because I really need my bloody ritual monsters. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to make Vendread charge. We're going to go ahead and ditch Banshee for now, because we just bring her back, and that's all good. And that's going to bring us out another Scar of the Vendread. We're just going to be, you know, deck thinning, much as possible. Who needs Unit Zombie when you have Scar of the Vendread? That's a real boy right there. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and make our Ritual Monster. Or not Ritual Monster, we're going to make Savior. He's blue like a Ritual, but not quite the Ritual Monster. But we're going to use Scar of the Vendread again. Just going to keep bringing him back and getting us more stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and get Ravenous Vendread. This is like the best ritual spell, because it brings you a material and it lets you ritual summon. So it's really good. And in this case, let's go ahead and use the effect of Shiranui Spectral Sword. I can banish materials from the grave to do a fusion. Let's see. Let me think. If I banish Hellfire... Yeah, because then I can just get another tuner. So let's get Immortal Dragon on the board. Immortal Dragon. We'll use his effect. I can send another zombie from the deck to the grave, and I can get my rituals set up. So there you go. So let's ditch Battle Lord. That way, I may set the card by mistake. EDO Pro controls are a little wonky sometimes. So yeah, we'll activate Vendread Origin. Let's be Ritual out of the graveyard, and we're going to go ahead. And who would I want to use for this? I don't really want to use Voivode, but I'm just going to use Voivode, just keep things simple. Summon out our big boy, good old Battle Lord. So what this guy does, I'm going to banish one of my Vendread cards that I don't need anymore, like Charge. We're going to say no traps for a turn. That way at least it stops Fairy Box. It'll stop Fairy Box at the very least, and that's a good start. For now, let's see. Recover a high-level dude, and that's not bad either. What I really need right now is to have Eldelich in play, but I sadly do not. Kind of need him in play to do things, but it's okay. We's all Gucci. Let's go ahead and battle into this dude and hope for the best. We still have to deal with this bloody spell. But we got rid of that one. So what is this? Psychic Rover. What does this do? It might have come back. Roll 2, 3, 4, or 5. Some of this, literally anything but a 1 or a 6, and you would have had that thing back. Anything else? This guy, my bro. Why you do this? Why you do this to me, man? All right, let's get Banshee going. We need to get some materials on it. Let's get Zombie World set up, and... Oh, now I can Ghost Fusion. Oh, yeah, I have less life than my opponent. Ooh. Let's go do that. Ghost Fusion. Very nice card, because we need to have a high-level boy on the board. And it's okay if I ritual using Battle Lord, because I just bring him back with, you know, Vendread stuff. That's the thing. I just keep bringing him back all the time. And Battle Lord, of course, if he's sent to the grave, is really good. Because he is going to go ahead and search me out one of my rituals. In this case, let's just get Scavenger. And then I'm going to send one of my vendors to the grave. We'll send Scar to the grave. And we'll be all set up for later. Let's see. I think I'm tinking it. We'll set a spell. We'll end our turn for now. That'll do. Now, Ghost Wyvern got banished and all that. You might remember. And because he was banished, he's going to go ahead and send another Shiranui Spectral Sword to the graveyard. That way I can synchro next turn too. See, with this deck, you might think a zombie deck that doesn't play Unizombie or Mizuki or Foolish Burial or a lot of other staples wouldn't be good. No, this deck can play very well once it gets set up. It's not that hard to do. So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to summon Necroface. I want to recover some of my banished cards. You know, my banished boys have been banished, but they need to come home. We're going to do that, and then what we're going to do, let's see. Let me think. Do I have my level 8 in the grave? No, I got my 6. Well, that works too. I just want to double check the effect of Felgrand. Yeah, that works. That works just fine. Let's use Shiranui Spectral Sword, banishing one of our spare Scars. We banish Scar a lot in this deck when we get going, because you only really need like the one in circulation. But it's nice to have multiples. But regardless, Skeletal Dragon, banish whatever this is. I don't trust it. It's probably Dice Jar. Or another Psychic Rover. That was my next choice. Let's see. Thinking here. Activate Ravenous Vendread. Get myself another monster. And it's Wabaku. How about you? There you go. Alright, so if I bring back Battle Lord, then I can do other things. Or I can get Scar. You know, I'm going to keep bringing Scar back on the board. Because this way I can just keep, you know, tributing these dudes off. Keep getting searches going. That's the whole idea of Scar. And also, Felgrand did something too. Face up monster on the field. Well, that doesn't help me at all. If you only negated anything, Skeletal Dragon, that would have been cool. But unfortunately, you don't do that. Regrettably. But that's okay. You know what? I'm okay with you not doing that. Because I've got Vendread Origin now. And Battlelord, next time, I'm going to start stopping the Sanctuary. I think that's a smarter move to do. This guy's got lots of traps. Let him have his traps. Because now we're going to use Immortal Dragon's effect. And my opponent surrendered. No, brother, don't surrender. We were just getting into the good stuff. You were going to draw Time Wizard next turn. It was going to be funny. You were going to nuke my board. It would have been hilarious. All right, well, that's unfortunate. I love dice decks and stuff like that. They're so much fun to play against. I think I might have gone a little too hard on this dude. Just a little bit too hard because, I mean, he still had turns. He still had a turn or two. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, put the perfect idea of what this deck is about. You know, we're just going into the Vendreads. We're going into the other big dudes. The more stuff we get to the graveyard, the better. The more you cycle through Scar, especially. He's like our main guy in this deck. You really just want to get him going. And if you can link off Battlelord, get more stuff, that's even better. So, just goes from there. There's a cascading effect. So, good for the first duel. I salute you, Mr. Gigi, because you were awesome. I just wish you could have stuck around for another turn. But let's go ahead for duel number 2. Show them what this deck can do. There's still a few more things we can do with this deck, and I'd like to show them off. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. And look at them sleeves today. I hope I don't get any trouble for taking spawn art, because, you know, I can't draw spawn. I probably could have just drawn spawn. Would have been looking that good, but it would have been something. But, you know, when I saw Spawn just twirling that chain, I thought to myself, that's not Spawn. That's Joey Wheeler. Look at him. He got kunai with chain. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? All right, what do we have for an opening hand? This is not a great hand. I mean, Sleeper's okay. Because when she's sent to the graveyard, she's going to get me more stuff, but I don't have anything to get rid of the cards in my hand is the problem. Okay, Scar, not great. See, sometimes with 60 card decks, you will break. That's just how it goes. You just got to hope and pray and play through. You know? That's just how you have to go sometimes. Necroface! I'll play that too! I'll play that card too. That's so funny. Okay, so we're both playing Necrophage. We're both playing zombies to some extent. To some extent, it's just both of us at Brick. It's the battle of the Brickies. Let's see here. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to tribute off Ghost Sleeper for Scar of the Vendread. This way, Hellfire is going to go ahead and search me out. Ghostly Fusion. Hey, hey, ho, ho. There you go. And we're going to activate it because I can send Scar to the grave and get things started. So, banishing an Eldritch Goldie Boy, send this boy to the graveyard. Boomakachoo, Eldritch the Mad Golden Man. He's pretty beefy. He can steal stuff too. It's not as often, but he can do that. And let's see, I don't have any of my ritual stuff. So let's get Vendread Knights. A surprising tech to be sure, Vendread Knights. Not as often played, but I can discard a card, like Balladrock, and then I can get one of my ritual monsters. In this case, doesn't really matter who. I'm just going to get Battle Lord. I mean, Slayer's like the most iconic of the Vendread rituals, but this guy's cool too. Can I normal summon? No, I've already done that. And yeah, Vendread Knights, you've done your job. You've done your job. We salute you. Thank you for doing your job. I appreciate you. Let's beat up Necrophage, and we'll see what this guy's playing. Because this can't be destroyed by stuff, so, you know, it's going to be pretty useful, unless he's playing, like, Call of, what do you call it? Change of Heart. I don't want to say Call of the Haunted. That's something I would play in this deck, because, you know, I like to bring back the Zombo boys. Honor Extravagance, you say. Okay, doesn't care about the extra deck too much. Is this perhaps Gren Maju? Possibly. Maybe Gren Maju. It is possible. Alright, but we got ourselves a relatively board established. I mean, I've got Balladrock on the board. Kind of he's a guy that gets thrown into a lot of zombie decks because he's like really good in zombies. Especially compared with the OG overpowered field spell that is Zombie World. But sometimes he takes the stage a bit too much. So if I can get my ritual spell, I would gladly use this as a material to get that boy going. Get that boy off the board. I want Battle Lord. I want Slayer. I want Scavenger. I want Executor. I want a new Vendread ritual that actually does something. That would be cool too. That would be cool too. That's, I think, one of the biggest things that gets Vendreads down. Other than, you know, kaijus. Other than, you know, having your monsters... you need to use, like, all the main deck monsters on the board to give them additional effects. Which is annoying. But, like, the bigger thing is a lot of Vendread monsters on the board don't do a whole heckin' lot. Like, Battle Lord can, like, you know, stop your opponent from using traps and stuff for a turn, or monsters or spells, whatever. Vendread Slayer can make himself slightly bigger. It's just, it takes a lot to make Vendread rituals do stuff. And I would have liked it if any of the Vendread rituals on the board did more. Scavenger does make himself bigger, so that's something, I guess, but it's not like a lot. But let's go for Gozuki. And we're going to go ahead and ditch our boy Scar, because you always want to send Scar to the graveyard. He's very important to be sent to the yonder graves. Because now I can ritual summon with Vendread Origin. Very good. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll summon this. And I can also banish stuff from my graveyard. But you know, well, actually, this thing's big. Do I want to get rid of this? I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Sorry, Golden Lord. You tried your best. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get Battle Lord's effect. We'll banish Vendread Knights. No trappies this turn, sir. So unless those are all Book of Moon, I'm afraid it's the end of you. Alrighty, so maybe that was actually surprisingly clean, you know? You know, for starting off with a brick, in the battle of two decks that bricks, our deck comes out on top. Possibly. I knew this was Gren Maju. I knew it. That could be potentially bad, because I am playing Necrophage, he's playing Necrophage. Are we going to deck each other out right now? Because, I think we are. Is this going to be a draw? Because if you have multiple Necrophages too, I don't know what's going to happen here. Do we both lose? Do I lose and you lose? Who loses? We're both out of a deck! Ah! You know what? You know what? Go ahead. This is what you wanted, buddy. There you go. Cards cannot be drawn. Oh, Lord, now that's way better than OTK Beatdown. That is 10 times better. Good showing, sir. Good showing. I love it. Inferno Tempest. And now we can look at this guy's entire deck if I remember which button was a banish. There you go. What was this guy doing? Just straight up Gren Maju stuff. All the spells in the world. White dust on the proud dust of them all. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, so we got time for one more duel today. Let's go all into it. You know, we've shown up a good chunk of this deck, but I'd like to get like Slayer on the board, Scavenger, like the other Ritual Vendreads, because we've seen Battlelord. He's doing good work for us, but we haven't seen the penultimate of all of the Vendread. We haven't seen Slayer. So let's go for one more duel. All right, everybody, our third and final opponent, the last chance at romance. We've done pretty good with this deck, you know? When I was testing it, it seemed a little jankier than it was, but it's actually worked fairly well today. You know, we've gotten the cards going, we've gotten the monsters on the board, and I'm happy with it. So this hand isn't that great, but we'll give it a shot. Let's go Gozuki, and we're going to go ahead and use this effect. I'm going to go ahead and ditch. You know what? It's the third and final duel. Let's get Slayer going. Slayer on the graveyard, because now I can ritual out of the graveyard. That's really the best thing about Vendread, is like you just ritual summon out of the graveyard and stuff. So we get Scar going, tribute him off, bring out the Slayer. He is Spoon. That is his name. He is the Spawnmeister. He's the zombie that hates other zombies. That's what he does. Alright, so now that we've done that, I could get Vendread Knights, get this in the graveyard. That's not bad. Or I can go for my Vendread Reorigin, because we haven't shown that off yet. Essentially, this lets me just tribute my opponent's stuff and give me a token. The only big issue of this trap is that if I keep it on the board, I can only summon Vendread monsters, and the only extra deck Vendread we have is Savior. So it can be a detriment if it's left around, like if your opponent's like dicking around with you and they just do that. Oh no, this is bad. This is very bad. There is no stopping this deck. It is unstoppable deck. Best deck in the world. Ojamas. Ojama pajamas. Oh goodness. That guy. I know how this is going to go though, because I've seen this deck before. I've played this deck before. He's going to summon Ojama blue. He's going to try and beat into me. He's going to try and take little damage and hit me with bigger damage. I've seen this deck before, so I'm going to have to wait for the battle phase. And hope he doesn't have another Ojama match. If he does, I'm just doomed. Only hope we have is to tribute off Ojama Blue. And hope for the best. We'll see. Does he have another Ojama match? Or anything similar? Okay, thank you. The Lord, he doesn't. Okay, I mean, we're not completely out of the woods, because Ojamas combined with Armed Dragons and ABC Dragons and all sorts of other things. And they can set up it ridiculous. They can do some ridiculous things. It's a good thing that I was able to stop him when I did, because otherwise, I'm surprised he didn't use Pile Vendread's effect there. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but still. Let's see here. And see, now is a good time to go for Vendread Knights, I feel. He also has Ojioh, so he can get some more Ojamas on the board. And he's got Ash Blossom. That's not as good. I was really hoping for that Vendread Knights. That was kind of part of my strategy. Oh, let me think about this. Let me think about that. If I tribute 2 monsters, Scar will come back. Yeah, okay. Here's what we're going to... I can't tribute summon? Oh, right. The stinking token. I forgot. Okay. I can't use my effects. I can't do nothing. That's not good. I guess I'll just go for Savior, I guess. I mean, it's not what I wanted to do, but it's what we're gonna do. But we'll use Gozuki's effect. Sadly, I'm banishing my Scar to do this, but it's what we gotta do. Because I can summon any zombie I want from my hand. And in this case, we're going to summon Vampire Voivode. who's a very interesting dude. He negates effects of monsters. If another copy of that monster's in the grave, it really is good against like Ash Blossom and the like. It's pretty neat. And we use a Savior's effect. We'll go ahead and get back Ravenous Vendread. Oh, I could have linked off Savior for that and done things well, I need to get rid of the one guy. I had to get rid of that. I had to get rid of that. No point in tributing anything, so I guess we'll just go for Ye Olden Battle Phase. That's not a quick effect, right? No, it's not. Okay, good. Attack Pile Dragon with Savior. Because then I can use my Savior's effect. There we go. Damage calculation. Ditch the biggest zombie we can. And that will make his monster significantly smaller. Alrighty. Now, we're not out of the woods just yet, because again, he still has the Ojama duo. And I imagine now it's probably going to be the part he summoned. No? Not yet. Interesting. Oh. You want to keep one alive, do you? Clever, clever. I mean, that's fine still, because even if he summons Ojama Blue and it gets destroyed, Voivode will stop Ojama Blue. Does he have to be in attack mode? Yeah, I mean, you're blatantly putting Ojama Blue in attack mode. I will attack it. I can stop it. And, oh yeah, I do have Slayer's other effect. I can banish a zombie from the grave. Who is currently... Hold on. You know, who's in the grave? Yeah, let's banish Gozuki. We need more damage. We need it. But yeah, he'll activate Ojama Blue. And this is where Voivode just stops this thing. Anything whose name is already in the grave, I can just stop it. Even if he were to link off Pink, I could just do him too. It's not like I have to have 2 copies of the monster, like one in the grave, one on the field. No, it's just anybody who's in the grave and they activate their effect, I can basically stop it with Voivode. No! Melodrach! He was innocent! He did nothing to you! How could you do... You monster. You pink, blobby monster. Okay. Calming down a little bit. We're still okay. I'm going to activate Savior's effect to get back the trap. Not that I need it, but I'll just get the trap back for the hell of it. And let's see. Activate Eldritch Goldilocks. I don't trust whatever this is. What is it? Why? I told you there was going to be those boys. And my opponent surrenders. Alrighty. Well, today went way better than I was expecting it to do. I was expecting like 1 and 2 or something like that. But no. No, we are 3-0, baby. We are 3-0, and we'll go over the end screen because we've shown off like a good 80% of what this deck is capable of. I could do one more, but then the video is going to get super long. I still got to do all the deck profile and everything. So let's go over the end screen. We'll talk more about this deck here. Alrighty, everybody. So not your average Vendread is what I'm going to be calling this deck, because it is very different from most zombie-focused decks. So we're not playing like the Yugioh zombies or the Mizukis, the Foolish Burials, or a lot of typical zombie stuff in this deck, but it still works surprisingly well. I will tell you, when I was testing, there were a few bricks, and surprisingly, I turned on the camera and it didn't brick. Well, the second one was a brick, but both of us bricked, so it kind of canceled itself out. So it worked. It worked very well, surprisingly. I didn't think it was going to work as well as it did, but it did. And I'm very happy to see that it did. So, you know, it's pretty simple. The combination of Gozuki and Scar really helps even out this deck. Get you your spells and things. Get you your Vendreads. And we didn't get to see all the Vendread rituals, sadly. I mean, they don't really do much. I mean, Scavenger makes himself bigger. And then Chimera can protect your monsters from, like, field nukes and stuff, but... That's about all that those two do. So, oh, and Executor's like a total disappointment because all he does is protect from targeting. That's it. I mean, it does protect everyone though, so that's something. So, yeah. Regardless, this has been our Not Your Average Vendread deck. I hope you all enjoyed it. You know, if you did, don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you enjoyed it. Comment in the comments, because that's a new thing on YouTube. Gotta get them comments. What did you think of the Vendread deck today? You think Vendread's will get more support that makes him like way super good? And don't forget to subscribe if you're new, because we're almost at 850 subs, which is what my end year goal. So if we get that like before October, that would be amazing, because then we can just go up higher still. So real quick, here's the deck list for any of you who want to try this deck out. Go ahead and give it a shot. And don't forget to shout out our boy, the First Alchemist, because he did make this deck for us. So for our deck, our main deck, we have 3 copies of Eldritch Goldie Boy, 1 copy of Vampire Voivode, 3 copies Baladrock, 3 copies Scar Vendread, 2 copies Necro Banshee, 3 copies Ghostki, 2 copies of Ghost Wyvern, 2 copies of Vampire the Sorcerer, 3 copies of Necroface, 2 copies of Ghost Sleeper, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies Shiranui Spectral Sword, 2 copies each of Revendred's Executor, Scavenger, Battlelord, Slayer, and Chimera. There's 2 of each ritual. 2 copies Ghost Fusion, 2 copies of Revendred Evolution, 2 Ravenous Vendread, 2 Revendred Origin, 3 copies of Charge, 3 copies Zombie World, 1 copy of Vendread Knights, 3 copies of Shiranui Style Swallow Slash, which was a really good trap card for zombies, but it never showed up, and 3 copies of Vendread Reorigin, which did show up and saved our butts. And then lastly, for our extra deck, we have things like, a Vendread Savior, we have Vampire the Thucker, Shiranui Skill Saga, 1 Vampire Fascinator, we've got Yugioh the Icicle Maikashi, Yugioh the Absolute Zero Maikashi, we have Wallow, the founder of the Drudge Dragons, which is really hard to make in this deck now that I think about it, considering, you have the normal summon Scar for that, but, it can happen, we have Danford Vampire Sheridan, we have a Lancelot, which is a really good, nice rank 8 Xyz monster, very effective. We have Zombie Vampire, we have a Zombie Stein, a lot of zombie-ish monsters, there you go. We have Immortal Dragon, which can change its levels and stuff. We have a Skeletal Dragon, which can banish stuff. We have Red-Eyed Zombie Dragon Lord, who just brings back zombies. And then we have, lastly, the Eldritch Mad Golden Lord. Very big boy. As for the side deck text, we have things like Book of Life. If you find the graveyards are both filled up with monsters, this is your monster born that also denies your opponent's stuff. You have Ghost Meets Girl, the Shiranui story, which can summon Shiranuis from your deck or your grave. It does stop you from summoning anything but zombies, but we're all zombies, so it doesn't really matter. So that's another nice card. If your opponent has monsters, you want to start with a Synchro, that's cool. There's Vendread Revolution, which can get you ritual monster and spell back and stuff. It's slow because of the trap though, but it's another option. There's Golden Land Forever, which is a counter for everything if you control Eldritch Goldie Man, which can be useful, but we don't always get to summon Eldritch Goldie Man, so I chose not to play that one there. But then we also have Vampire Domination. Same thing, depends on what you find your easiest to go into. If you're able to get into a Golden Buy really quick and easy, consider, Golden Land Forever. If you find the vampires are surprisingly competent for you, go for Vampire Domination. So that's the deck, everybody. Next time we're taking a look at Blue Eyes White Dragons. Finally, we're taking out some Blue Eyes White Dragons. Have yourselves a good time with that. So until next time, everybody, y'all stay safe, y'all stay happy, and you have a good one. Take care.